I'm going to show you how to use the VoiceStream app to download books for students to read. In the top right hand corner, I'll choose the VoiceStream app, and here is the student's current library. In the top left hand corner is the plus button. I'm going to choose the plus. Here you can bring in documents from a lot of different places. For example, Google Drive or Bookshare. I'm going to first talk about Bookshare. So I'm going to click on the Bookshare icon, and it's asking me to search a book. So I'm going to search Shiloh and hit the search. Now I'm going to choose that download button in the corner and have that download. Then you need to choose a member for which you want to download. I've blanked out this part just because that's private information, but I choose the student who I'm downloading the book for. So I'm going to choose a Shiloh book. Here's the book now with some features on the top and the bottom of the page. So I'm just going to go through some of those features first. At the top right hand corner we have this sort of speaker looking icon. So here we can select the rate of speech as well as the voice that the student prefers. Beside that we have the A, and that allows us to choose the different font and space for that particular student. The colors, you can have a light, you can see dark, and also you can customize that specifically. I'm going to change it back to light. And here you can choose colors, specifically what you want the background, the highlight color to be, the word that's being spoken to be. I'm going to go back in there. The speech cursor, so show spoken word or show spoken line. We have those both on. And then highlight on the text in the margin, right, scrolling as it's a page or freely down the page, how many lines we can see, and the cursor position. And also this Pac-Man mode. The Pac-Man mode sort of eats the words as it reads along. I'll show you that after we've looked at a bit of the reading. Close that. We also have the bookmark here where we can add bookmarks into our book. In the bottom left hand corner is the bookmarks that have already been put into this book. And I like to go to there because at the start of every Bookshare book is a long piece of copyright information. I want to skip that and just go right to the contents of the book. So that's going to move me right to the contents part of the book, passing all the copyright information. Double click to get my cursor there, and you can see it starts to read right away. In the middle here we have the play button and the forward and back button. So I'm just going to let it play so you can see what it looks like.
Cover map other books by this author, title page, copyright, dedication 1 Lieutenant Palmer Metcalfe DeCamp. John.
Okay, I'm going to pause that. Then I'm just going to move down past the contents into the beginning of the book so we can sort of hear how it reads the book. Double click there.
The sky had cleared, the clouds raveled to tatters, and at 4 o'clock the sun broke through, silver on the bright green.
Okay, I'm just going to pause that. So again, I just wanted to show you that Pac-Man feature. So up in the A under visual settings, this is helpful for some of our students. I'm going to turn on the Pac-Man mode. Okay, and now close the visual settings and hit play.
The sky had cleared, the clouds raveled to tatters, and at 4.
Okay, so you can see that the words eat as they're read. There's also some other great visual tools in VoiceStream. If you pinch the screen, 2 fingers, it'll show you much less of the page. This is helpful for most of our students to only see part of the words. Again, it will Pac-Man as it eats them.
The sky had cleared, the clouds raveled to tatters, and at 4 o'clock the sun broke through, silver on the bright green of grass.
I'm going to pause. It goes back to the start of that sentence. I've turned that feature on, which is up here for our students. So up here in reading mode, if you go to advanced settings, I've chosen rewind to beginning of sentence after pausing, just so the student's not lost. It goes back up to where they sort of pause and we'll read that sentence again. And there's some other features you can choose in there, as well as you can set a timer, which I think is really helpful. So if you're doing silent reading, you could set it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then it will go off so the student knows when they're done. We also have a few other tools that I think are really great for students to use. So I'm just going to pinch the screen so I can see more of it. Open it up. Here we go. And now the student can select the text by holding their finger on it, pull this down, highlight, and then they can choose to highlight this portion of the book. Okay, so you can see it's highlighted in green. They can also add a note. So I highlighted that word. I can put a note in. Sorry, I must have hit the wrong button. Highlight that word, hit note, and a note pops up below. And I can add here, I don't know what this word means. And I can play it back to myself to make sure it says the right thing.
I don't know what this word means.
And I can save it. And now I see that there's a little note on top of that. So when I go back to the teacher, I can pull up my note to show them. Also, the teacher could go in ahead of time and put maybe questions in the book to guide that student's reading. What's also great is that now that we've annotated the text, up here in the top left-hand corner is the share button, so we can export those highlights or share them so that they can send them to the teacher. So if we hit export highlights, we can send a copy to our drive. We can see it opening up there, it's saved. And now I can find it and open it up here. And I can see that it has the text that I highlighted put into a Google Doc for me. Okay, back to VoiceStream at the top there. Also, students can add bookmarks. It's a really great tool, especially if they're coming back and forth each day to it. So when they're finished reading, it's a great idea to add a bookmark. So let's say we got to the second chapter, especially because the pages don't have numbers, so it's really hard for them to follow along in a book with the other students.
Worked all Wednesday night with Colonel Jordan.
I'm going to pause there. I'm going to close that. I'm going to add a bookmark there. And now if I go into this bottom left button, I can see here's my headings. These are the ones that are put already into the book. Here's my bookmark, so that's where I just put that bookmark, so I can simply click there to go to that spot. And beside that is the highlights, anything I've highlighted in the text, and any notes that I've put into there. And I can simply click on there to quickly go back to that spot in the book. Same with the bookmarks. So if I bookmarks, I'm back to the next day, I need to open where I left off, and it goes right to that spot. You can also use the search feature in the bottom right corner. So if you're looking for something specific in the book, I'm just going to choose dog for this one. Hit search. It'll find all the places in the book that the word dog is mentioned, and you can go to any of those places simply by clicking it. So it's a great way to find information quickly. That's VoiceStream with Bookshare, but I just want you to know that there's a lot more than just Bookshare you can use with. So if you hit the plus, you can load things from Google Drive. If I click the more, I can add a website. So you can open up a website into VoiceStream, which gives the student all those same features of being able to listen to the text. This is a really great app, and I hope that this tutorial has been helpful.